Hi, good afternoon everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our stay-at-home safaris. It's warmed up really nicely today. It's got to about a 29 degree max, which is still 29, which is about a 87 degree Fahrenheit. Got a nice group of warthogs behind us, little sounder of warthogs that probably spent the majority of the heat of the day at the water's edge. They love mud wallowing, so they would have been spending the time in the edge of the water there wallowing. You can see the wet bodies and muddy bodies. Just starting to get up and active. As the day starts cooling down, they'll head out and start foraging again. We're going to do the same and see what we can find. Hopefully have another good afternoon like we did this morning, and yeah, join us on another safari. So it's still nice and warm at Cheetah Flats, and a lot of bird activity around the dam as one can expect. Got 19 of those juvenile Egyptian geese that haven't paired up yet, keeping the single hippo company. Our resident secretary bird is also out in the grasslands opposite the dam here. Great example of an African harrier hawk, which are obviously predatory birds. Tell by that not prominent beak, but they specialize in feeding on well, anything really that lives in the trees, like lizards, insects, but also prominent thieves of other birds' nests. So anything that nests inside the hole of the trees, like the woodpeckers that we spoke about, they are very good at stealing those chicks from those nests. They got double jointed legs that allow them to get into crevices that other birds can't get into. It's really interesting with the African harrier hawk. The facial skin is usually a yellow color, but particularly during mating, the mating sequence, or when they're excited, potentially being harassed a little bit by the Burchell starling, their facial skin flushes red. So very, very interesting to see that the facial skin there was red, and also very broad wings to allow them very slow, low flight from one dead tree to the next. So really great view of the African harrier hawk there. Right, out here in the Lowveld, we're not renowned for a lot of prominent or obvious wildflowers, particularly at this season of the year. In summer a little bit more so, but now in the drier seasons, as things drying out, there's very few obvious wildflowers. But one of the ones that you can see quite regularly and a lot of is this devil's thorn, which is a really pretty little purple flower. Flowers at this time of the year. And it's called a devil's thorn because of the seed, which has got a very prominent nut with these two horns, devil's horns on them. And this obviously lies in this way on the ground, and animals, particularly the hooves of zebras and all the antelope species, will tread on those, get stuck in the hoof, and then gets dispersed. So the scientific name is Dicerocerium, of the genus. In Greek, dakeros means two-horned, and then carium refers to the nut. So it's a two-horned nut, which is a very good description of it. One of the local uses of this is as a soap. In fact, if you take the leaves, it has saponins in the leaves, which acts as an antibacterial detergent. So very, very good for washing your hands if ever you're stuck in the bush. Just need to mix a bit of water in that, and it releases a very soapy substance which dislodges dirt, and there's a very slimy initial feel to it, but then over time, when it starts drying, very soft moisturizing properties and antibacterial detergent. So exceptionally good out in the bush when you need to wash your hands, especially in this time of the year with COVID-19. So good way to stay healthy and clean, but also no odor to it as well. So fantastic little plant that is not that obvious, but when you look closely there's a lot of detail. Great news, we've just managed to find these lions. We've just located them, so we're not exactly sure who they are. Most likely going to be the Styx Pride, but we'll get a bit closer and see who they are. Had tracks coming across the boundary from the Sand River, so going to be spending some time with them. Okay, so great news, this is the Styx Pride. Haven't seen them for some time now, so really exciting to have them back on the property. Right, so we've just left Ali with the Pride of Lions. It's still a little bit early. They look like they settled there for a little while. We're going to look for a few other things in the meantime, and then return there just before dusk and see if they're going to get active. We're just in the clearing a couple hundred meters west of where they're lying, and big open clearing where there's quite a lot of impala and wildebeest activity. So hopefully those lions can hear them, and we'll head into this direction when it starts cooling down. This is always quite a productive pan, not far from the Camp Delini, on the edge of the Mabruck. Always has some good value here. Always got a hippo or two. Great for bird life. The water thickening, catching the last rays of the sun, and the grey heron's always here. So always nice to make a turn past this dam and this pan and see what's happening. Also got a big old buffalo bull here just on the edge of the waterhole. Looks like he's been lying in the waterhole for the day as well, similar to those warthogs. Just starting to head back towards where those lions are. Bumped into these two giraffe on the road, two young males. So we just returned back to the Styx Pride. The sun's just set now, it's dusk. Good time for the lions to start getting active, so hopefully we'll get a bit of movement out of them for the next little while, and we'll hopefully get a bit of action. So a couple of hyena have just arrived from the north, and I think I've seen the lions. These lions are also paying attention to these impala that are rutting and fighting. You can see that female at the back doing the phlegm grimace. Obviously one of the other lions have urinated there, and she's just testing the state of that lioness. Right, it's starting to get pretty dark now, and there's quite a lot of impala around that have been rutting and fighting the whole afternoon. Lions are starting to get active and are looking towards where those impala are fighting, so we're going to be turning the spotlights off for a while, so we won't be able to film, and hopefully something happens, but we'll keep you updated. Right everyone, so unfortunately not much materialised there. The lions are still lying up in the clearing there. We didn't want to shine the lights on them again because there are still a lot of impala around, but it looks like they've settled for a while. Probably at some time during the night they'll put a bit more effort in, but we're going to let them be, and hopefully they stick around on the concession until tomorrow. So let's hope that we get some action tomorrow, and until then stay at home, stay safe, and we'll see you in the morning.